Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and I would not be the filmmaker I am today, barely respected with no hits to my name, were it not for the wonderful world of Disney. We all love Disney, man, whether it's the movies, the parks, the Marvel movies, what have you, man. Disney is in our DNA. And you know whose DNA it's really in? The Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee. You want to go Disney hard? Never Disney soft. That's the show for you. Magic Our Way podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's all the Disney. You looking for a little D or the big D? Magic Our Way's got it for you.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it.
We are Artistic Bus talking about Disney stuff, and this is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this episode, we discuss the best park for an adult getaway. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practiced, pixie dust and Disney podcast. No, sir. We are not in the parks every day trying to tell you how to start booking your virtual queue reservations for a Tron Light Cycle run.
That's right, Kev. We're here to drink, talk some Disney, and try to figure out where the hell Lee Lastavica went.
Yeah, and it was so much fun, we might just do it again.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And of course, Lee's not here on this particular show, but that's okay.
He had dinner reservations.
Yeah, dinner reservations, guys. So look, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some adult getaway action. And here we are on the hub, and this is our main topic segment of the show. And for this week, we are talking about the best park for an adult getaway. And I mean adult getaway, which means sans kids, no kids, no kids allowed. If you were with a bunch of adults, this is probably the best park that you want to get away to or hang out in or participate in or go to. If you had like a 1 day, one park ticket that all you had to do was spend, this is the one park you should choose.
Why don't we go beyond that? Because I think that if we say there's only 1 day, one park, this is the park you would choose, I would think that still everyone would be like, well, it's Disney. We got to go to Magic Kingdom. We got to have that quintessential Disney experience. Why don't we say you have a 4 days?
4 days. Okay.
You're going to see all four parks. What is the first park that you go to? What is the first park that you want to? You're the Disney ambassador. You want to give these people a good time. They've never been before. You save Magic Kingdom for whatever you think it fits down the road. What would be the very first park you take these people to?
So, Daniel, you're assuming it's just Walt Disney World.
Oh, well,
hence my twist.
Oh, you have a twist?
I do.
Oh,
I have a twist.
Twist the night away.
Should I start? I don't know. I don't want to take away from anybody.
No, go for it.
We were talking about this topic as we were texting back and forth what to talk about this week.
Mm-hmm.
I actually landed on two separate things.
I can see that.
Two separate. Okay.
So for the I split in two things. I said for the regular adult, there's one option. For the Disney adult,
okay,
I think there's a better option.
Oh, I like how you put that.
All right.
So if you're a regular adult, no kids, no nothing else, people would say Epcot's a good choice.
Yes.
I would say Epcot's a good choice. And I could see that.
Most people would. Yeah.
Most people would. A lot of articles that are printed out there would. There's a lot of stuff learned from the countries. The attractions, a good mix of like kiddie rides, but there's older rides instead. There's theater presentations, a lot of which kiddies are not really prone to. You know, I'm talking about like France or American Adventure, maybe even Canada whenever it's running. There's alcohol, and a good plus with Epcot is you can walk around with the alcohol. It's no problem. You can leave the pavilion.
A good bit of it, yeah.
It's a
great restaurants everywhere.
Plethora of alcohol. It's great. There's plenty of different foods. You know, they have the food and wine festival type events like Festival of the Arts, Food and Wine Festival itself, all those kinds of things. Great for adults. But I think if you're a Disney adult, I think Disneyland park itself is a good option.
Hmm.
Now, number one, there is plenty of food.
There is.
There is really good food there.
Lots
It
of
is
food.
steeped in detail and history.
Not great restaurants.
Not great restaurants, but, and this gets to my point, there is alcohol, but there's not the plentiful
plentiful.
alcohol like Epcot. And yes, you can only drink it when you're on property at those particular restaurants, specifically meaning Blue Bayou as well as Oga's Cantina. But there is alcohol if you wanted some alcohol, and you could stay there, have as much as you want. So that's available. But there's plenty of iconic attractions and theming.
Mhm.
You know, it even has Galaxy's Edge. You don't even have to change parks like Walt Disney World.
Right.
It's all in the same place, so you can get a little bit of that. You don't have to walk too far because of its size. It's definitely more compact, so it's not as big as Walt Disney World. And the maintenance always seems to be better. Plus, there's organic character interactions.
There is.
So if you're a Disney adult, I think Disneyland Park itself, and I'm not talking about California Adventure, just Disneyland Park itself would be a good idea.
I would not disagree.
Yeah, I can't hate on that.
No, not at all. I mean, I didn't even factor in the California parks, to be honest with you. I don't know that it would still change my answer. It probably...
I'd be curious to know what you answer, because it's like this, when we said parks, best park for an adult getaway, I automatically expand. So I'm curious how the other ones compare.
But to be fair to Danny's point, though, I mean, when you go to California, Kevin, you got to worry about being shot.
Well, there is that.
Your cab guy pisses off the wrong gangster in the middle of the highway. So, you know.
There is shot, and there is the alcohol laws. You can't freely move about like you would in New Orleans or even in Florida or Lake Buena Vista or Reedy Creek, I guess, in their jurisdiction. But yeah, I'd be curious. I'm open to other stuff.
Here's where I would go with it. I would say one park to start it off with. I would go with Hollywood Studios.
I understand.
I can see that too.
I understand where you're going.
Yeah. I would think that has the perfect blend of attractions that are adult orientated. You get the better version of Tower of Terror. You get the Slinky Dog Dash. They have Mickey's Runaway Railway now.
Galaxy's Edge.
We still have Galaxy's Edge.
As I mentioned,
so that's an obvious plus. But what they have in Hollywood Studios is that several bars along the way. In addition to Oga's Cantina, which they do have, obviously in Disneyland. I like the bar over at the Brown Derby.
Yeah, you got that. You got Baseline,
Tap House, the Tune In Lounge. All of those are really, really good.
Oh, Tune In Lounge. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
An unbelievable restaurant in Hollywood Brown Derby, which just captures the atmosphere so well. And trust me, I didn't even expect to land on this. I kind of figured this would be a no-brainer. Obviously, you go to Epcot.
Well, that's what everybody says.
Yes.
Yeah, every article that you research this topic on, they all say Epcot. It's like, well, hold on a second.
The more I thought about it, the more it got to me where it's like, yeah, drinking around the world. You go to Epcot, drinking around the world. That's an adult thing, drinking around the world. And to me, it's kind of like when you hear about, hey, you go to New Orleans? Well, go to Bourbon Street, have a hurricane, vomit or pee in the streets.
Pee in the streets.
They don't care.
But a hobo.
Right.
Yeah, it smells great.
It's like the touristy thing to do. It's like now when I go to Epcot, I don't even concern myself with drinking around the world. I mean, hell, 3 or 4 of those places are just beer anyway.
It's so passe.
I'd rather drink around the resorts. I'd rather resort hop. I'd rather monorail crawl. I'd rather do any of that than drinking around the world.
Have we done that challenge before?
No, but I think we should.
I have.
Yeah, we did do that.
Anna and I did it on the way out. Like that, our last day at the Magic Kingdom, we were like, screw this. This is taking too long. And we stopped every single step along the way and had drinks.
But I think to your question, I don't think collectively as a podcast we've done that.
No.
So I'd say I think we should do that.
I like that challenge.
Well, one of our members of our podcast don't drink.
Oh,
we give him a pineapple.
You can get a Dr. Pepper.
We give him a Captain Bandana.
Yes, that's right.
But also you have Muppets over in Hollywood Studios, which is another thing near and dear to my heart that I like. You have Star Wars Land over there. So there's enough there to where I think it's a nice starter for adults going to a Disney trip. It's like, this is Disney. This is all for kids. I think if you start them off at Hollywood Studios, it's perfect. Yeah. It's not too much walking. It's not too much stressing out over, oh my God, I've got to walk all the way from Future World to World Showcase from my reservation. You got to be kidding. And then come back for the Fast Pass.
That is true. That is quite
Lightning
a trek.
Lane, whatever it is.
That is very much a trek.
Yes. So I think I would go to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, man, it's tough to follow behind you because we share the same brain. I agreed. Like when you started off, Kevin, I was with you because like when you think of how do you approach the park as having an adult vacation, and it's like, yeah, I just want to do whatever without any sort of constraints. Epcot does pop to mind first. Like I mean, it does. Like
To everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's fair.
It does because you get to see this and that. But then you're right. Once you throw in that aspect of saying, hey, you're a Disney adult, that means you do have that sense of imagination that you do have to have while having to be a person that likes to like kind of cut loose and then like really just let it all go. And yeah, I picked Hollywood Studios too. I mean, I was going Epcot, but then I was like, as I worked it through, I was like, yeah, Hollywood Studios makes the most sense because not only, like you said, I mean, pretty much, like you said, like you get a drink there. I mean, if you're a person that's a fan of Star Wars, you have that whole land to explore. You know, kind of geek out on. You know, get lightsabers, get shirts, get robes. You know, I mean, you can immerse yourself in a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go to you really got enough money, you can go to Star Cruiser, right? Go there, you know what I'm saying? Get paid,
Yeah.
get you some green chick, hook up there, see what's happening. And then like after the 3 days, get out and then you can still enjoy the park and like nobody knows you're there. It's like, you know, Vegas in space.
Yep.
You can't hit on that.
It's a perfect kind of testing ground. Like if you can't handle Hollywood Studios, you're not going to be able to handle the crowds at Magic Kingdom. You're not going to be able to handle the constant need to ride in an attraction. Like it really is. It's the perfect starter.
It is. And then
I would say.
And then on top of that, though, again, like you said, you can hit all those different areas where you can have a drink, but it's not huge, right? So like as an adult, it's enough where you can say, hey, I saw everything and I'm complete. And like, yeah, so when you go to like Brown Derby, that's a very adult centric meal. It's not made where like, you know, I love Princesses as much as anyone else, but I mean, you get that vibe where you're going to a legit restaurant. There's no gimmicks and no tricks. You know, if you want to learn more about Walt, that's a thing that would bore kids.
It's one of the more elegant restaurants in the parks, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, it comes from a different time, and it's really catered to adults.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and then you could do the whole thing though within a day, and then not be exhausted, and then collapse on your bed and not be able to get up to rope drop the next morning. You know, so yeah, I'm with Dan. Hollywood Studios, way to go with that.
The best thing is like, you know, if you're traveling with a millennial, challenge them to name one caricature on the wall.
Good Lord!
Oh yeah, really?
Did they really draw that, Dad?
But like, I've had this discussion with Lee where he talks about Hollywood Studios, and it's like, yeah, we go to Hollywood Brown Derby, we go to 50s Prime Time, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'll never make it to 50s Prime Time because I generally only portion one day to hit the studios.
Right.
If it's my one day in the studios, I'm eating at Hollywood Brown Derby. I don't need to get yelled at for having my elbows on the table or for not eating all my meal or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
somebody with a headset
I could just go to the bar and get a peanut butter and jelly shake.
That's it.
Easily.
That's it.
Right. And just be happy and feel like I've gotten the experience of it. But if I'm going to sit down and eat, I'm eating at the Hollywood Brown Derby.
Despite the tuna disappearing, yes?
Well, that's going to suck. That will suck.
But the
but I
salad's
think
not bad.
I think I'll go over there and
do
my best. Hey, cutbacks are coming, buddy.
Coming. Tough times out there.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I would put Hollywood Brown Derby in my top 5. And I'm even including restaurants off property. And I think
top 5 restaurants that you eat?
Yeah, I think Hollywood Brown Derby, based on my last couple of experiences, has jumped ahead of Tiffin's, which I didn't think was possible. But I remember eating there one time with the Raz, and Raz being, it hasn't been really the same since we first been there.
No, I agree with you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Eating there, and she was right. But I was like, okay, well, maybe. And I ate a second time over there, not with the Raz, obviously, and being like, yeah, this is not as good. So Tiffin's is beautiful on the inside, but the food quality has slipped. Whereas I kind of felt like Hollywood Brown Derby. Last time Eli and I went there, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, it was solid.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's still solid.
And then one thing about that is you have other adults there as well that they may have mouse ears on or whatever, but I mean they will talk to you recognizing you as an adult.
Well, they had that palette too. That
Yeah.
Tiffin's
and
would
it's
cater to.
yeah, and it's not that weird
Yeah, I can see that.
awkwardness. So yeah, it just gives that kind of vibe off.
Now, one thing I would say that you didn't bring up about Disneyland, I think is a point in Disneyland's favor, and something me and Richard Hercher, I think, were talking about kind of briefly over Facebook, which was the idea that Disneyland is open until midnight.
Oh, the hours.
That's
yeah,
a
I can see that. Yeah.
huge point in Disneyland's favor. And
Because if you're an adult thinking about value, of course.
yeah, if well, not just even value, just if you're an adult who just doesn't want to get up at 8 a.m. to go jump into a park, hit road drops,
Right.
that way you make sure you see everything. If you want to get in there when you get in there and know that you can just about step on any ride, no matter what it is, that late at night, you can do that at Disneyland.
Yeah. I think with either adult, it works well, whether you want to get into the park late or if you get into the park early, the fact that you spend your money on the ticket lasts you the entire day, and up until they close, I think is just as valid. Whatever value you put towards it.
Okay, so what would you have of the WDW parks?
Of the WDW parks, what I'd say, and here's the thing. And so the reason why I picked Disneyland Resort or the Disneyland park itself is because it was a nice, I was torn between Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
I'm like, well, what's a park that kind of has both? And I was like,
Ah.
well, we didn't really specify coast. So I was like,
Mhm.
I think Disneyland's got a little bit of both.
Okay.
It doesn't have all of both, but it has a little bit of both. I did mention for the regular Epcot's a good way to go just because, regular adult, they don't have as many nuances Disney wise that they would care about. They just want to eat, drink, whatever else,
Sure.
and just kind of explore. So I went with the traditional Epcot. Yeah, of course, Epcot's fine for them. But if you're a Disney adult, Hollywood Studios would be a great choice. Magic Kingdom would be a great choice. If you need to only pick one park, I think Disneyland Park is a healthy combination of both.
I agree. I do agree on that.
Yeah, it was hard to narrow it down to one, and I was glad to be able to find maybe this has a little bit of all. Even though, yeah, the alcohol is not flowing as much, but at least I could still get it.
Yeah, you can.
Maybe it's a little bit tough, but at least I can still get it.
But it shouldn't be tough if you're an adult going on a vacation.
Well, yeah, that's true. But if I'm a Disney adult, I still get the iconic Disney attractions.
Sure. And I think that's really where it comes to be, right? Are you hanging around with people who like to drink and engage in fine dining and that kind of thing? Or are you hanging around with a bunch of adults who just want to see Disney for the first time? And they could care less about the drinking and the meal. Like, okay, show me what's so great about this place. Where would you take them first? You'd probably take them to Magic Kingdom, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean that's the go-to.
Yeah. Now, if you're hanging around with somebody who likes dining and enjoys a cocktail, I think you bring them to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I think you start there and then you gauge their interaction. If they're into the rides, your next stop is Magic Kingdom. If they're into the cocktails and the drinks, your next stop is Epcot. It really kind of determines where your next park is. First park I started with when I went and I took Anna for the first time was Epcot. Started with Epcot because we arrived late, and I knew nighttime. I knew her sensibilities. We went to World Showcase, and she
I like that
won
you
over
remember
like
you
that.
arrived late.
Oh God, yeah, I remember.
I think that's important to note, though. When
we
you arrive
arrived
with that
late,
park,
and,
yeah.
and obviously, which park is open the latest?
Epcot, exactly.
So we went.
Because they had illuminations back then,
Yes.
9 p.m. and all
We
that.
watched
Yeah.
it. It was during the time it was the millennial.
Oh, the Millennium Celebration. Yeah,
celebration.
that's why I harped on that topic. Like you
Yeah.
arrived late.
By late, I mean
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 o'clock. It wasn't that late. It wasn't like we arrived at 6. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we went there first, and I remember riding Rio de Tiempo with her, and that ride got her. That was the ride that did it.
Really, is it?
Yeah, it was the ride that
I
did
don't
it.
love that ride.
It
I
was
was
the mariachi band.
So
got me.
nervous, and all of a sudden we rode that ride, and she was like, "Oh wow!"
Hmm.
And there was the scene where you come in and those fireworks are going off overhead and everything like that. And when she said that, I was like, "Yes, Disney is working." And so the next
Thank
day,
you, Walt.
Thank
Make
you.
this happen.
I love you.
next day we went to Hollywood Studios, and we had a pool day after that. And then after that, we went to Magic Kingdom. We saved the best for last.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I still remember that. But I mean, okay, so the second park I would think I would go, like, let's just throw all that out the window.
Okay.
I think if I'm doing Hollywood Studios, I think I would go Epcot next.
Epcot next.
Absolutely.
You know what's funny is like if I was thinking about just adult,
Mhm.
I almost put Typhoon Lagoon
Mm,
as a legal park because you
I
got the
thought about
swimming,
it.
you got the drinking.
yes.
Yeah, you don't have to traditional ride things that you would have at the amusement parks.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you're an adult that just likes to chill out, relax with a cocktail, Typhoon Lagoon's not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice at all.
So I can see where you're going with Epcot because that's traditional, but also at the same time, I'm thinking Typhoon Lagoon might be in that play.
Well, it's also restaurant related.
Yes, that's true. This is true.
Big thing. Like you don't want Magic Kingdom doesn't do well in the way of restaurants
No,
at all.
No.
Absolutely not.
Animal Kingdom has slipped off big time in the way of restaurants. I just find the quality of Tiffin's to be a little bit lacking.
Yeah, it's true.
Disneyland doesn't really offer much in the way of restaurants.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiana's, I don't know. We're looking at you.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see what happens with that one. Who
I
knows?
have zero hope for that.
Zero.
Yeah.
No hope.
But hey, who knows? You might be right. I don't know.
We could
But-
be surprised. You're absolutely correct.
I hope we are surprised. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think you go Epcot second. I think
There's a lot of good restaurants at Epcot for sure.
that's when it comes a thing. Okay, Disneyland or Animal Kingdom
Ooh.
as far as an adulting park.
Whoa. The whole Disneyland,
The
both
whole of
ends?
Disneyland or Animal Kingdom. I mean,
This is where you got to weigh in. Is the attractions will weigh more than the food, or
that's
vice versa?
exactly it. It weighs in the personalities of the people that you're going with. But I'm just gonna, for the sake of this exercise, assume that these people are that we're traveling with are in between. They like a little bit of that. They like a little bit of the rides. They want to be impressed.
I would go with Animal Kingdom.
Think I would too.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful theme park. It's visually transformative.
I'm thinking about Tusker House and Yak and Yeti. And I'm thinking about Yak and Yeti where you get that little secret password and you get the little secret drink menu.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but it's also Animal Kingdom's also the most visually relatable.
I thought you were going to
That's
say,
stipulating.
yeah, I thought you were going to say, I'm thinking about the Nomad Lounge. If you would have said that, I would have been like, that's where my mind was at.
Yeah, no. I think that Nomad Lounge is just as valid.
Yes.
And I think if you go to Yak and Yeti and you say, take me to the summit and you get that menu, that's a whole nother level itself.
But it's not too far. But it's not too far out that if you have again though, this is tough, right? Like if you
It
have
is.
an
It is.
adult,
It is.
if you're an adult and you're just I'm just gonna go on a vacation. This is the kind of stuff. If you see Animal Kingdom, when you walk into the Tree of Life, you cannot help but be astounded by that.
Oh, 100%.
Right. But if you start walking around, you're like, what is a Starbucks in the middle of a forest? What the hell is this?
God damn, there's a Starbucks everywhere.
Right. Like,
Oh my God.
as an adult,
I mean, what more chocolate like a hookah latte?
this don't make one
Grande.
good dog sense. What is this? So,
Craziness.
right, you're gonna have a problem. But if you're a Disney loving adult, right, you allow anything to kind. So that's the trick, I think, with
It
this
depends
exercise.
on who you're traveling with.
Right,
That
who
is
you're
what
with.
it comes down to. Like, how are you trying to impress them?
Right.
Here's the thing. You got Harambe Market, you got Yak
Yes.
and Yeti, you got Tusker House.
And,
Three, I think, to me, three
and
great
Tiffin's,
leaders.
I mean,
And
Right.
Tiffin's.
it's
and
not as good as it was, but it's not like it's terrible.
No, it
I would
doesn't. It
put-
doesn't suck.
Tiffin's in its current state, I would put that up against any restaurant in the Magic Kingdom.
Ooh,
I would do that too.
Let's run through that. But yeah,
I might
I'd
even put it up
against-
against Blue Bayou.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, no, I think it would
Wait,
hold its own
I-
against
It would hold its
Bayou,
own against Blue Bayou
for
for
sure. I think it wins against Blue Bayou. I think it wins against
oh boy, in the
just
prime.
about any place in Epcot. Name a place in Epcot that's better than Tiffin's in its current
Space
state.
220. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
just, you had that.
I had
didn't.
Tourette's. I had Tourette's.
Not Space 220. Not
Better than Tiffin's.
in its
Tiffin's-
current state.
in its prime?
No, not its prime. In its current state, Space 220 doesn't do it. The Garden,
Oh, the Garden Grill
yeah, that
and the
doesn't,
Land.
Yeah,
Probably not.
that doesn't do it.
Definitely not the seafood place in Living Seas.
Oh, Le Cellier.
Oh, Le Cellier. Well,
Le Cellier
yeah, okay.
might give them a run for their money. Le
Chef-
Cellier might.
Le Chef de France. Oh,
Chefs de France is okay.
I'm trying to
Monsieur
think.
Paul is better than.
Oh, Monsieur Paul is better. You're right. What about Japan? What about Matsuritsu Grill?
Oh, you know what?
Oh, the sushi.
no, the
Yeah.
hibachi joint. Yeah,
She's talking about
Matsuritsu Grill.
Tepanito.
Yeah, Tepanetto. Yeah,
Tepanetto.
Tepanetto.
But that's
Yeah.
that's subjective, right? On that, because you got exotic foods in Tiffin
Because I'm also thinking about the German buffet, the beer garden. I mean, yeah, it's a buffet.
Well,
but at the same time, it's like
Let me just fast forward.
Yes,
through it.
yes.
So I'm going with my theme, and I'm figuring this out on the fly. I'm starting with Hollywood Studios because that was the point of the exercise. Where do you start? But if I'm saying where do I go from there, and I'm still dealing with these adults who are not quite bought into the Disney experience, and I'm trying to bring them along. I'm starting with Hollywood Studios.
Mhm.
I follow up with Epcot,
yes,
Animal Kingdom,
yes.
then Disneyland. And I know this is all
What about
heresy,
Disney Springs
heresy,
before?
I should say. It's heresy.
What about
No,
Disney
no,
Springs
fair.
before Disneyland?
No.
Disney Springs
Never.
before Disney?
Ever.
Ever?
Never, ever.
No.
Ever,
Not even
ever?
close. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Ever?
Not in any
I don't know
not in
about
any stretch of the imagination would
Uh,
ever put Disney Springs above Disneyland.
that.
I feel bad just saying I would put Animal Kingdom or Epcot or any of these individual parks because Disneyland is my go-to as a Disney fan.
But if
Yeah.
you're thinking about the audience,
I'm
I think
Yeah,
you're
think about
valid.
the adult
trying-
thing.
Think about the audience. I think you're valid.
Think about the
Yes.
adult part, yeah.
Yes, there's no kids involved. It's just adults. I'm
Right.
trying to bring them along to an experience that they've been avoiding. I'm thinking those three parks, then Disneyland.
Then Universal. No, just kidding.
Wow. I was going to say, then Typhoon Lagoon, then Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I was just about to
Then
suggest the
Blizzard
water
Beach.
park. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You'd end
Oh.
that with Blizzard Beach?
I think Blizzard Beach comes in last. Yeah. I went to Blizzard Beach before.
I think it's an option. I don't know if you'd put it after Magic Kingdom.
It's really good. Blizzard Beach is a great water park. It really is.
Yeah.
We went there. It's just that that's not what you associate with like, hey, I'm at a water park. Yeah, I want to see skis and like I've never been a ski person. Like I'm sure the people out there who love the slopes and love
Well, they grew up with it. We
Yeah.
have no idea down here.
right. It's just
Yeah.
not my thing. So if I'm at a water park, I want to see
Water.
a ship stranded on a mountain. I don't want to see a ski lift.
I want to see liquid water, not
Yes.
frozen water, not solid state water. H2O. No, that's fair.
That's
No,
fair.
I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a good order of things.
I do.
It's funny that California Adventure didn't make it to any of that.
No,
Even though it
God,
probably
I
has
don't-
one of our favorite restaurants in
Yeah,
there,
you
which
know,
is
yeah, that's
no, it's the oh shoot,
Carthay Circle.
Carthay Circle. I love Carthay Circle.
Ooh.
But that's like the only thing that would take me there.
Yeah, I forgot about California. Okay, California.
But it's tough though,
California
because
It is.
Carthay Circle is like, for me, that's what stands out of that park.
It would come before Blizzard Beach
Okay,
in my
I
list
can
of
live
things
with
to
that.
do.
I can
Yeah,
live
it would
with
come
that.
before Blizzard Beach. But
I
that's
can live
about
with
it. So that's that's it. Huh?
Yeah, I think for adults that's a good way to. For if you had to do an adult getaway, I think that's a good order of things
Mhm.
or a good option of things that you could follow to have the best experience without kids.
And again, it just depends on how you define the party you're traveling with. I defined it as a group of people who've never been to Disney.
Yeah, I define it. I define it in two ways: just
Mhm.
adults of being adults
Mhm.
and Disney adults, which are to me two different audiences.
Now, if you go with like fellow Disney fans, which park? Any park or no park? Stay outside the park. Go.
Tokyo, Paris, Shanghai. Who
Go to Trader
cares?
Sam's. Go to the Tambu Lounge. Go
Yeah,
to
it doesn't matter.
any of the. There's a number of different ways you can have fun at Disney with fellow Disney fans. I'm trying to
Absolutely.
think about people you want to bring into the fold.
Yes. Hey guys, so look, that is our thoughts about the best park for an adult getaway. So if you want to share your opinions on this, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin.
And here we are in guest services, and this is the segment in which we get to service you, the listener. And to start up, we have Potato Ed. Potato Ed writes in, Edward H. And he titles the email "Shamed." ...
Shamed.
Shamed is what he says on this email.
Shamed.
He says, after suffering the time off, not from listening, but from the Patreon giving, I'm back for the awkward period Danny mentioned.
What did I mention? Wait, what?
I don't know. This
You
is
mentioned shame.
he mentioned shame. Apparently, we shamed
Oh,
him.
dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shame. No shame.
But I'm part of it because apparently he goes on to say, Kevin cut me to the quick with his musing about questioning what I did wrong.
What did he do?
I don't know. I know there's a point where you have to drop off as a Patreon member, but I don't know.
Did
we
you
need
like
to go
say
back and listen to the show, man.
I know.
Were we drunk that day?
Were you checking to make sure he was okay? You were checking to make sure Potato Ed was all right.
This is maybe, I don't know. This is back. He wrote this on January 4th, so it must have been after a New Year's show.
Okay,
Oh, so it's been a bit.
It's been a little bit.
been a while.
But he says, since force majeure clauses in contracts don't typically cover massive inflation in fuel, airfare, or hotel costs, I found my problem.
Oh,
Bottom line is that I'm back.
He's back.
welcome back, sir.
Welcome back,
Glad to
Connie.
have you back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
I
back.
feel bad if we shamed you into
I
coming
know.
back,
I
but
felt bad. Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully you're back for good reasons. But he says, I've made a few visits to Disney properties in conjunction with work trips. And I'll be visiting WDW, Walt Disney World, of course, and the Walt Disney Family Museum in the next few months.
Oh, good for
That's
him.
awesome.
That's great.
What a traveler.
And he'd like to say thanks to Eli for the autographed comic books from a few years ago.
Oh,
They're probably kept in my office for all to see.
oh, look at that.
Wow, that's
Yes.
awesome. Thank you for
Knows no one in his office is reading them.
what you talking about. They probably read them and like, holy crap, where's more of these coming out?
Have you gotten some orders from like I don't know, in strange parts of the world?
Overseas. I gotta check. Make sure
Timbuktu or
I gotta make sure they're not bots.
oh,
He's gonna check with his comic manager.
Yeah. I check my man. Hey, did I get any more books, dude?
No.
All right.
oh damn.
I'm working on some more though. The you know what?
What's that?
Just for Potato and the next project that I lay out, I'm gonna ship that to him. I appreciate him being a supporter, not just of the comics, but of the show. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we love Peter. I hope you'll make it back to New Orleans sometime soon.
And didn't he purchase the Patreon Eli package
He did.
where he gets all the access to Eli Ivory?
Yeah.
Whenever he
Possibly have?
Oh, yeah, he gets all the talk, man.
All the access.
Talk him to anything, I mean, like
Kirk got to step up, right?
you gotta start with Chavez, what you doing?
Somewhere Kirk going, you mother.
I mean, look, let's face it, right? Like he came down, he hung out with us, and
He
then,
did.
like, we made
Great
sure
guy.
he was good. Yeah, we,
Ed's a great guy.
Tom
Yeah.
he's a great guy. Made sure we talked to me. He takes care of our country. So thank you for what you do for the country.
That might be classified. That might be
That's best I had it.
stricken from the record.
Well, he did the intro.
so if
we
it's
can't tell
bleeped
you-
out,
Can't tell you what he do. Right.
if it's
right.
bleeped out, you understand why.
Right. It's redacted.
But
Yeah,
just
it's
know that
redacted.
when you go to bed at night, you sleep under the protection that Potato Ed
Right,
has
that's
right.
granted you.
Yeah, you thank Potato Ed for being on that wall.
That's right. And he goes on to say, on the topic of current Disney leadership, I have a vested interest.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow. He's
Yeah.
got stock?
He says, I've been a stockholder since
Oh, come
1995.
What?
That's funny that you say that.
Awesome.
And my number of shares fluctuates based on economic factors, not management's political leanings, granted. There was a period when I held only one symbolic share, but I always believe in the magic.
Mm-hmm.
CEOs come and go. When they stop having to take measures to limit park attendance, we'll all have to worry. That will be my signal that the magic has migrated.
Magic
Interesting.
migration.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because I think Harry and the group also mentioned, he brought up our old show, Is Disney Bulletproof?
Oh,
and he's
wow.
like, I think nowadays that might be the case. And it's funny that even Potato Ed kind of mentioned something along that line.
I don't
Holy
remember that
crap.
show. What did we say?
It was an old show. We might have to listen to it and then
I-
re-explore it. I
Yeah,
think
I
that might
think
have
that'd
to
be
come
fun
back
to
up. Maybe another show will copy us and say the same thing.
That
Who
was a
knows?
complicated show, if I remember that correctly. Some of it.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was a good show. It was good enough. It stuck in Harry's head, so it must have been something killer.
That's what we like.
That's
like
what we
that.
do.
That delayed reaction.
But anyway, Ed summarizes. He says, I never quit listening to the podcast, many years now, and I always felt immense guilt for not contributing.
Oh,
don't do
God.
that.
Please
No, man.
don't.
No, you're
Lots of
you're rock.
listeners don't contribute.
Yeah.
But they should.
And they pop
They
up.
should. Thank you for being the forerunner on this.
That's
Thank you
right.
for your support. You are a leader, sir.
Hey, there are people out there who can't afford to contribute. They would like to contribute, but they can't afford
But
to.
they should
This
try
is true. This is true.
a little bit here and there. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. A little try. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And then this next statement's on me. He says, speaking of immense guilt, where's the MOW pin I've been waiting for?
You owe this dude a pin?
I owe him the new Magic Our Way pins. I've been waiting for those to come back in from China, which they just have.
Oh, man. Was it through a scrappers thing?
It took a little while to get in, but I finally got them in, and so I'll get them out to Mr. Potato Head soon enough.
Take care of that, man.
I didn't know the Magic Our Way podcast was in business with China.
Well, I didn't know either until I placed the order, and then I was like, "Oh, it's coming from China. Oh, this is delayed
I was
by
gonna say,
months."
you know
and
how that
months
fraud
and
thing
months.
works. I did a whole thing on that. You know how that works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All
Yes,
right,
you're
let's check on
Absolutely.
that.
I
Gotta
don't-
make sure.
He says, "Ha, gotcha." Yes, you did get us.
Oh.
Yes, yes. So he's
Wait,
saying, "Ha, gotcha."
What? Ah!
You got me
Peter,
on that.
Yeah, Peter says, "Ha, gotcha."
He got the pin?
He got us.
He got.
Whereas we called him out, he called us out.
He
It was
caught
like,
Kevin
it's all good.
sleeping.
Yes,
He called us out. Wow, that's some
and he
real
called.
stuff.
He called us out. Well, we called him out. He called us out. It's all good.
Now, that's a
It's all
listener
even.
right there. He knew what we
It
were going to
is.
say before we said it. They called us out on what we said while we even saying it.
But Eli, he says keep on making the madness, and he appreciates the gladness. Thanks for all that you guys do, Mr. Potato Head.
That is awesome.
Ed, it sounds like you talk to Eli too much. I don't think you need to be copying his sayings.
That's
But
why
I
you.
think at your Patreon level, go ahead.
That's
Yeah.
why you a hero.
Oh yeah, at his Patreon level, he gets to do whatever he wants to do. With
That's
Eli's
why he a
sayings.
hero.
That's right.
Don't listen to what that man. That's
That's
why you a
right.
hero. You listen to me, you a hero. That's
And
what
according to his
that's
Patreon, we owe him a king cake and we owe him dinner
A
at
king
least once
cake?
to 12 months.
Well, we'll take care of the dinner when he comes down.
We can take care of the king cake. We just need to know where you are, but I know sometimes that's confidential.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
redacted.
that is true.
That's
That is
redacted.
redacted. So I don't know
It
how to
is
get
hard
your king
to get a
cake.
beat
so-
on him.
That is very hard. Very hard to get.
But if there's a way to get it to you, we'd happily oblige with our responsibilities as Patreons.
Hey, look, for many years I sent king cakes to Jim Hill until he said, "What are you doing, Danny? I'm diabetic."
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that was my bad.
We probably gonna have to like send this like king cake on like some plane, and the plane just like flies over all parts of the world, and then like once Potato Egg gets to a certain point, like, hey, if you could drop the king cake on this day at this time,
These
I'll be able to
coordinates,
get
they
it.
get like a little parachute. with
Yeah,
the king cake.
exactly.
He gets a supply drop.
Big old like C whatever the thing is, C36,
C-130, and it
Yeah.
drops a little king cake.
Big
Operation
drops.
Dumbo drop.
Up
Dumbo
Operation
drop,
King
that's
Cake
right.
drop. Yes.
Operation King Cake drop.
All for you because you're a Patreon subscriber. Thank you, sir.
At that high level.
That's it. That's what you get. High levels get high level treatment.
That's that golden oak tier.
That's
Did I ever
right.
tell you like what ended up happening with that whole thing with Jim Hill, where like,
You
he finally
mentioned
wrote
on the
me
show,
back
but I
and
don't
he's
know if
like,
we-
yeah,
He
dude,
got the beaties.
yeah, he's got the diabetes and stuff like that. He's like, dude, yeah, I really appreciate these king cakes you send me every year, but I'm diabetic and I don't want to die kind of thing. He's like, can't you send? Why don't you send me something else like granola or something? He was like making a joke, and I sent him a lot of granola.
You
Whatever
send
it was.
granola?
I don't remember what it was. He mentioned something. I can't remember what it was.
Wait, no, was it like bread or something like that?
wasn't bread because diabetics can have bread.
Yeah,
It's some
diabetics
kind
can
of
have
brand.
No, it was
That's
like-
what brand muffins. He said,
Thank you. That's what
Send
it was.
me brand
muffins. That's what it. Yeah,
that
why don't
makes
just
you
send me
regular.
And sure enough, I sent him brand muffins.
that's right.
And he was like, wrote me back. He was like, I didn't mean to actually send me brand muffins, but I like him. He's
Oh, Jim's great.
provided me a ton of
He's a good
entertainment.
guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he gave you an intro for your 400.
I-
That was great.
couldn't be more happy about that.
Yeah, that was pretty killer. But anyway, guys, look, Potato Head, man, thank you so much for writing
Yes,
in.
sir.
It's always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to hear from you. And listeners, if you want to write into us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about or just to shoot the shit, sorry for whoever's editing. But if you just want to shoot that, thank you very much. And we're going to tell you how to get in touch with us in just a little bit. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that discussion. And look, magicourway.com is the way to go if you want to find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about, you can do so through the following ways. Number one, you can shoot us the email at show@magicourway.com, or you can call or send us a text message. Yes, it did say text us at 1-815 a weekend. That is 1-815
Mo weekend.
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of guys do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli does things with comics. Eli, what you got going on, sir?
Yes, sir. As always, you can go to the Ivory Comics website. That's www.ivorycomics.com and see the projects that I've made, such as Project Geisha, Savages, and of course, Somebody Be Damned. And there's always a link to the Magic Our Way podcast, so you never miss a beat, you never miss an episode, you never miss an insight, a travel tip. It's all synergic, baby. That's how I wanted it. That's how we're gonna do it. So you can find me right there, ivorycomics.com. Facebook, I'm right there, Eli Ivory. As long as you're a real person, it's nice to meet you. But if you're a bot, don't want to greet you. I ain't got no more credit scores trying to hook up with me, Merrick to Merrick. I ain't got nothing for you. Leave that scam alone. You ain't nothing but a bot. Get out there. Yeah, you worse than a thought.
Merrick the Merrick?
Yeah.
Merrick the Merrick 639 _.
Yeah, from Thailand. Ain't no good. Anyway.
Boy, girl, who?
Woo-wee. Project Geisha has a Facebook page, so you can always go to facebook.com/Project Geisha and post some comments or anything you want right there. I'm always checking that out. Instagram are right there, do the same thing, posting up the hearts and the likes and checking out what you got. So you want to find me there, EIV504, and of course on Twitter, unless, again, Elon Musk has said, you don't need to be here, dude. You can find me at Headcocktail166. So if you appreciate the madness, just bringing me the gladness like Potato Head did. So appreciate that support. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to book a vacation, trust Lee of Magical Moments Vacations, which is a platinum earmarked Disney travel agency. So if Disney loves them, so will you. Book with Lee today by shooting him an email at lee@magicourway.com. Even though Lee doesn't say this, a portion of every booking with Lee goes to support Girl Power to Cure as well as the Magic Our Way podcast. So that's two good things that could help.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You don't even have to go ahead and listen to the Magic Way podcast to support the Magic Way podcast. You just book with Lee.
Exactly.
That's it. You're like, hey, you know what? I found a better podcast. I'm breaking up with you guys. We understand sometimes, we look, Eli knows sometimes you just rub a woman the wrong way, right, E?
I've never had that problem, sir.
Never.
Oh, well,
Rubbing it the wrong way, though.
That's why he's the only single member of the Magic Way
exactly.
podcast.
That's right.
Because I got to keep, enlightening them on the rubbing. But yes, no, I get what he said. Yeah, sometimes people don't feel what you're saying.
That's right. And it look, if you want to move on, we don't want to lose you. But as long as you book with Lee,
We take care of you.
we take care of you. That's you taking care of us. We take care of you. You can still feel like you've given some support back.
Can I say this really quick? I would say that Lee is one of those few travel agents that actually has somebody outside of his agency holding his feet to the fire for you, his customer. We would razz this dude on air if he didn't treat you right on the trip. No other travel agent would have that issue.
That's right.
All you got to do is write in and say, my travel agent sucked.
And we'll say, who's your travel agent? And you say, Lee Lastavica, we'll be like, we got you.
Yeah.
Actually, if you say any travel agent, we'll call that travel agent.
Well, let's do that.
We'll try and get that travel agent on the line.
Woo!
And we'll let Lee tell him why he sucks and why Lee could do a better job.
If they book with Lee.
If they booked with Lee.
There you go.
And how terrible he was or she was. I don't know who you booked with.
That's right. We could do a better promotion for Lee.
That's right.
Than Lee's competition.
Exactly.
That's it.
I'm telling you, though, if you had a bad vacation, it wasn't because you booked with Lee. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. That man cared. He's got your back, left, right, upside, down, sideways.
And if you do book with the wrong travel agent and you need somebody to hold him accountable, you let us know. We'll get on the phone with that person.
That's right.
We'll get him hooked up and booked up with no hassle, Vika.
And guys, look, there's so many ways to support the show as a whole. You can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Plus, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, just like Mr. Potato Head, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way. There you'll find 6 awesome tiers to support this show. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions, and I swear, all opinions are always welcome on this podcast. So make sure you get in touch with us today. Some weekends, we say Kwaherini. My name is Kevin.
I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast that I still somehow end up with tacos.
Eating with my friend instead of recording with the Magic Our Way podcast.
What?
Hey, it's Lee from the Magic Our Way podcast, and when I'm not stuffing tacos down my throat, I'm